In today's video, I'm testing the adaptive tone on the Insta360 X5. I have two Insta360 X5 here in front of me. This one without the adaptive tone and the other one with the adaptive tone. Exactly same settings, 8K 25 frames per second, exposure compensation minus 0.3. Let us start. Hello everyone and welcome back to this new episode on my channel. I'm Photorabs, a portrait photographer based in France, and I like creating content about action cams, vlogging kits and anything related to action cameras actually. If you are interested in these topics, I highly appreciate if you go subscribe to my channel. That's a massive help. In today's video, I'm not going to talk a lot. I'm going to show you with and without the adaptive tone how the image will look. Personally, I prefer the adaptive tone on over when it is off. So that's a great feature that Insta360 added it to this camera, the Insta360 X5. And by the way, on 8K you don't have HDR mode on this camera, but this adaptive tone will retain lots of dynamic range of the scene. So that's an amazing thing. I would like to mention also that if you go down to 5.7K, for example, you can have HDR and adaptive tone if you are shooting in 360, and that's something interesting. If you'd like to get even better dynamic range in your shots, you can activate the HDR and the adaptive tone, but in 5.7K you cannot do that in 8K. So what is this adaptive tone? Actually, it is something quite difficult to achieve because on these cameras, on these 360 cameras, they record in 360 in a sphere, and the exposure is calculated based on the whole sphere, on the whole captured sphere. That's why this is only available in 360 mode, the adaptive tone. So when the camera is seeing in front of it and on the back side, to calculate the exposure, it's quite difficult and it's quite challenging, especially if you have sun from one side and shadow from the other side. So that's not something very easy to achieve. But with this adaptive tone, you can just, whether on your application, on the Insta360 application, by the way, make sure to update your application and your camera if you'd like to use this adaptive tone on your smartphone, or even the Insta360 Studio on your computer. So however you move or you reframe your shot, the tones or the exposure will be recalculated every time based on the scene that you want to show to the public. So the camera or the software will see what you are showing, or will know what you are showing to the viewer, and will adjust the exposure based on that. So you are not just limited to one exposure for the whole image. That means that this camera is, I believe it is recording in many exposures, and every single information is baked into the file, and it can reproduce the exposures based on the frame that you would like to show. That's why it consumes more power and it can overheat if you are using it for a long time. So this is something that I noticed. On the opposite side, the HDR, you don't have this capability to change the exposure based on the scene that you would like to show to your viewers, to your friends, to your family, to your public, to your audience. because all the information are baked into one single file, which is the HDR, the high dynamic range. While in this adaptive tone, I believe, I'm not sure, but I hope that Insta360 are watching this video so they can correct me if I'm wrong, but the camera is recording many exposures at once. And then later on in post-production, it will decide whether you need this one or that one based on what you want to show to your people. And just to tell you that this adaptive tone is also available in pure video mode. So now I am in 8K 25 frames per second pure video mode, adaptive tone on, adaptive tone off. What do you think, guys? So that was it for today's video. It was just a quick preview of this adaptive tone, how you can use it and what are the benefits of this one. By the way, I'm preparing lots of new content. I received lots of new packages from several brands, DJI, Insta360, Godox, and more. I have also from Ulanzi few stuff as well, but because I have lots of work to finish in the garage, so all the unboxing will be like a little bit postponed, or I will try to make them in a different place in my house. So yeah, that's it for today. Thank you for watching and ciao for now.